Government says the public sector wage bill remains the largest line item on the budget, accounting for just under 35% of expenditure. In light of the protracted public wage negotiations, it has gone ahead with its unilateral decision to implement the latest wage increase. It says South Africa's public wage sector bill is substantially higher than that of its peer countries and one of the highest among emerging markets. It further says future wage negotiations will aim to strike a balance between remuneration increases and the need for additional staff services, and that policies are currently being reviewed across government.
Honourable members, during the current financial year, wage negotiations have been taking place at the Public Service Coordinating Bargaining Council. On the 30th of August 2022, government made a final offer which emanated from a facilitated process. Underline that. From a facilitated process, and a tentative agreement was reached and was tabled before the bargaining council. All parties undertook to go and seek mandates. Then the unions came back and said they do not have a mandate. But it must be understood that there was a tentative agreement facilitated. This offer includes the continuation of non-pensionable cash allowance for the current financial. This translates into an average of 1,000 rand per employee per month until March 2023. It also translates that cash control into 4.5% for the wage bill, and another pensionable salary increase of 3% for public servants. That together in total comes to 27.5%. Madam Speaker, the offer on the table is the best interest of the fiscals and public service workers. Implementing it does not undermine the collective bargaining process. We believe that the facilitation process has helped all parties get to this point. Therefore, the spending estimates we are tabling today include this amount. This offer will be implemented through the payroll system and backdated to April 2022.
Treasury says higher than expected revenues will be used to reduce the gross borrowing requirement, support spending priorities, and reduce risks to the fiscal outlook. Government says it will use 65% of this projected additional revenue to improve its books. And for the first time in 15 years, it expects to record a surplus of 0.7% of GDP next year.
I think we've been really successful on the fiscal consolidation, and we, in a sense, going to begin to enjoy the fruits of that from next year and beyond, where now that debt has stabilized, and yes, even when we take into account the ESCOM debt, that what the ministers outlined is we can put more money into infrastructure, into social services, and your infrastructure is growth enhancing. So you've got a very positive outcome. It lays the basis, I think, to deal with some of the problems. The challenge, of course, we still have, as the minister outlined, is on the quality of that spending. And that's going to be the challenge that we continue to face.
The International Monetary Fund estimates that global growth will average 3.2% this year. However, locally, GDP is expected to slow to 1.9%, decelerate even further to 1.4% next year,